Another design technique of algorithm with respect to designing the various sorts of algorithms, especially graph algorithms, especially graph. So you can see in divide and conquer, we basically divide and conquer is a technique which is basically used for searching and sorting, or any problem wherein you store the data in the array, right? When you store the data in an array, we use divide and conquer technique. You can see sorting, we store the data in the array. Searching, we store the data in the array. Or you can see matrix, we store the data in the array, isn't it? And if you take the example of what is that? Uh, Searching also we take the same, right? And matrix multiplication, right? So if you take finding summation of n numbers, again you are storing the elements in the array, right? So like that, anything which is stored in the array, we basically make use of divide and conquer. And decrease and conquer is also suitable for graph oriented algorithms. Okay, graph oriented algorithms wherein your solution is based on certain strategy, or I can tell something like finding out, as you saw, the order in which the task can be executed, right? And sometimes even decrease and conquer is also suitable for sorting algorithms, right? And most of the time decrease and conquer is suitable whenever you want to solve a part of the problem, okay, in order to get solution to the original problem. So like that, every design technique has its own problems to which it can be applied to which it can be applied to, as I said, with respect to your divide and conquer and decrease and conquer. So similarly, in today's class we will look into the next method, that is the greedy method. Okay, so greedy method, when I tell, as the name only indicates, greedy, you all know that we are greedy about something, right? Greedy method. Okay, so and this greedy method is also used in our real life scenarios, right? So I use greedy method in my real life scenarios. Okay, say for example, very good example, if you can see, say I give you, say for example, I give you 2000 rupees, okay, along with a list of items to be purchased. Fine. So I'll give you a list of items. Say for example, some provision items or grocery items. I just give you a list and I give you a cash of 2000 rupees, right, to purchase and come. So definitely you all of us have tends of going to a mall, right? So you can find a shopping mall or a mart or whatever it is, right? And going on to the mart, you can find all the items which are there in the list. Also, along with that, you will find some more items also which is not there in the list, isn't it? So what do I do, or what do you do if I give you the list and the amount? You just go check out the item, and when you find the item, you check out for some offer price available, right? Or you check out of those varieties which you can choose, because I have given you 2000 and I have given you some amount, so you have to purchase all the items within 2000. So we are greedy there. What is the greediness that we have? Two greediness, that is, I have to purchase all the items within 2000. And the other greediness that you will be having is, if your parent gives you the amount and the list, you have to save some amount and purchase some items to you also, isn't it? So you will try to make your selection of the items which is there, right, such a way that you will encounter something less than 2000 and also add up some item which you want, isn't it? So you are greedy. Your greediness is about with respect to your cash that you are having and having one more item with respect to your own. Isn't it so? Right? So like this, there are very much of lifetime, real life scenarios you can just find. Okay. So we will just see what is the introduction to the greedy method, the general method, and also the coin change problem. One simple problem we will take followed with an assignment. So let me tell you what is a greedy method, right? So greedy method is a straightforward technique which is applicable to wide variety of applications. Anywhere you go, we have greedy method, isn't it? Right? See, if you are say somewhere in Rajaji Nagar, okay, I ask you to go to Majestic. There are so many ways from Rajaji Nagar to reach Majestic. You can see whether you can take a metro or you can take a BMTC or you can take a auto or you can take a cab. Yes. So if I give you 100 rupees, go to Majestic, what will you do? Will you take a cab and go to Majestic? Definitely 100 rupees will not be applicable for you to go by cab. And other constraint you have to reach early as possible. So definitely you will not take BMTC. Then definitely you will prefer taking a metro. This is a greedy method. Yeah, greediness in order to you want to achieve something with some greedy strategy. Are you understanding? Right? There's something, some constraints available. Okay. So greedy algorithms basically are the greedy strategies are used, I can tell, to solve an optimization problem. Just remember the term optimization. Later you will be have to answer this optimization problem. What is this optimization problem? Right? Optimization problem is a problem wherein you have a set of input values, right? The set of input values where you need to obtain subset of inputs as a solution similar to it. So you go to a mart. In mart, there are so many items. Will you take all the items and come to home? Definitely no. You will take only subset of those items. Subset, you know. Subset means what? Part of the input. So you will take subset of the items as a solution with respect to some constraints or conditions. Are you understanding? See, so now if I go to a mart, I will select. There are so many items here. There are n items in the mart, isn't it? How much items I will select? Suppose if I give you a list of 10 items, how many inputs will you select as a solution? If I ask you to purchase 10 items, what is a subset of inputs?
Less than 10, ma'am.
Yes, right? So you will either tell like 10 items, isn't it? That is the if the mart is having n items, so many items it has. I am not giving you that count because we don't know how much mart will have. Out of that, you will select subset of inputs as a solution. Say 10 items I will select with respect to some constraints or conditions. So what constraint I had there in my example? I should select my 10 items within how many thousand? Within how much rupees, students? I had given you how many rupees? How many rupees did I give you, students, to purchase the items? How many rupees? I had given you only 2000 rupees to purchase those 10 items. That is the constraint that you have. And or I can also tell you the constraint could be you purchase lesser than 2,000 rupees, save some amount and take whatever you want. Because I have given you 2000, my intention is to get those 10 items. If you want to purchase some item, you purchase all the items within 2000, lesser to 2000, purchase whatever you want. That is a constraint. So optimization problem is a problem wherein you have any inputs, right? And we will make or we will try to get a solution which is a subset of the inputs. with respect to certain conditions or constraints. So, yeah, normally speaking, if I have to give you as a mathematical formula, I can tell optimization problem has n inputs. That's what I said. So we will call this as input set or candidate set, such as C. We are required to obtain a subset of C, obviously subset of C as a solution where S is a subset of C. That the solution set is S. S is a subset of C that satisfies the given constraints or the conditions. Are you getting? Now, when I have the greedy method or when I have any optimization problem or a problem which is solved by greedy method, there are two kinds of solutions we get. The two kinds of solutions are feasible solution, optimal solution. Yes, feasible as well as the optimal solution. Right? What is this feasible solution? What is a feasible solution? A solution basically which contains subset of the inputs that satisfies the given constraints, right, is known as feasible solution. That satisfies the given constraints is known as feasible solution. What is that given constraint or what is a feasible solution? The same example if I take, give you 2000, ask you to purchase 10 items, you go, simply go, take 10 items, within making the bill amount as 2000 coming out. That is a feasible solution, right? It's a feasible solution. What I wanted you to do, I wanted you to take 2000, get 10 items, and you have got 10 items. That is the feasible solution. But what could be the optimal solution? The cleverness that you can include. Take all the items less than 2000, save some amount, isn't it? Less than 2000. It's not simply if I give 2000, it is not good, or it is not the cleverness in spending entire 2000. What you can do? You can reduce, take all the items less to 2000. That is your cleverness involved, isn't it? Such a solution is called as a optimal solution. What is an optimal solution? An optimal solution is also a feasible solution. Remember, that is also feasible because given 2000, I have got 10 items. That is also a feasible solution wherein that either maximizes or minimizes a given objective function. What is that objective function that I have in my case? In my case, what is objective function I have is I should purchase all the items less to 2000. It is not wise to spend all 2000. Less to 2000. Let me purchase. If that is the objective function for me, so my constraint here is to maximize or minimize. I have to minimize, isn't it so? So a feasible solution wherein which either maximizes or minimizes a given objective function is known as the optimal solution. Remember students, two kinds of solution, feasible, optimal. Feasible, which is again subset of inputs that satisfies the constraint. Buying 10 items, paying 2000. That's feasible. But then buying 10 items lesser than 2000 because I cannot cross 2000. Less than 2000. That's also a feasible solution, but that becomes my optimal solution. Are you understanding? Given any problem, we have feasible solutions, many feasible solutions. But then there will be one optimal solution, which is one of the feasible solution. Are you all understanding? That either maximizes or minimizes a given objective function. Try to understand. With example, you'll be more clearer. Okay. So when I talk about the working of greedy method, the greedy method works very simple. Very simple it is. It works in stages. One, it has several stages, I can tell. Stage 1, stage 2 goes on to stage n, wherein you consider one item or one input at a time. By considering one input at a time, the same thing. You go to a mart, you start selecting the first item, then second item, third item, isn't it so? To construct the whole 10 items, one item you keep on putting into your bag, isn't it so? So it works in stages, selecting one input at a time. Okay, and we basically consider the inputs in an order. So we will see this in examples. So that it will be based on some selection procedure. You start selecting the input, right, in stages. Some selection procedure will be used. Okay, in an order. Either the inputs will be given in ascending order or a descending order, something, some order, and you will select one input at a time. Okay, and you will use some optimization measure, some technique you will use at every stage to see whether your input leads to an optimal solution. Check whether adding the input to your solution gives you an optimal solution. And you can see here, I am not bothered about feasible. I want the optimal in all the greedy algorithms. Okay, we will see that later. So it works in stages, selects one input at a time. At every stage, it checks whether the input leads to an optimal solution using some optimization measure, right? And if at all the input that you select gives me an optimal solution, add it to the partial solution. Okay, just add it. If the inclusion of input into partial solution yields to an infeasible solution, if it is not giving me the feasible one or it is not giving me the optimal one, just discard the input. Don't select it. Go to the next input. Otherwise, if it is giving me the optimal or the feasible one, just add it to the solution, to the partial solution. Try to understand, students. With the example, you will be more clearer, but just try to understand. Two kinds of solutions are there. It works in stages, selects one input at a time, checks whether adding the input gives me the solution. If it is giving, add it. Otherwise, discard it, go to the next input. That's all. Okay. So the control abstraction for your greedy method looks like this. I have two inputs where A is an array which contains the n inputs. Are you understanding? A is an array which contains the n inputs, right? So I begin the algorithm like this. Initially, the solution is empty. It is like your bag. When you enter the mart, the bag is empty, isn't it? Solution is empty. Then what you do? You start selecting the items one by one. That is, where are my items present, students? Here for me, it is present in the array A. Are you all understanding? So I have to select the input from the array A one by one. So what should I write? I should write one of for loop for I equals to 1 to n, because I have used the index 1 to n. So I will iterate over the for loop over the array A using the for loop indexed from 1 to n. Understanding? Now just tell me, what is this line doing for me? X equals to select A. Can anybody guess what is the select method or select function doing for me? What does it do? Select A. What does it do, students? Students, hope you are all there. What does this select do for me? How many inputs I have? How many stages I should work, students, here? In how many stages should I work? How many inputs I have? N inputs. So I will work in how many stages? If I go to a mart taking 10 items list, how many items will I select stage by stage? Students, you all there? Yes or no? How many items will you select?
10, ma'am.
10 items, right? So you will go to each and every counter of that particular item wherever it is present, right? One by one, right? So how many times will you go? 10 times to different counters. So for I equals to 1 to n. Tell me, what is this function doing for me, or this line doing for me? X equals to select of A.
Considering the inputs in an order, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So what does this function do for me? X equals to select A is, it will select one input in A based on some selection procedure. Selection procedure is that based on some selection procedure, this is an abstract. So based on some selection procedure, I will select one input from A, right? Right? Suppose, say for example, you have 10 items. Wherever fifth item is rice, so suddenly you go to a rice counter. So you will select rice. Though rice is your sixth item, you will select rice first because you went to that first counter, isn't it? So select is a method or a function that select one input from A and stores it in X. So definitely, you all know that once you select the rice item, you will again never come back to the rice counter, rice availability counter. Why? Because you have already selected the rice. So what does the select function do? After selecting the input from A, it will remove that element from A so that it should not be again selected. It will remove that element and stores that element in X. Understanding? So select is a one which selects one input from A, removes from it and stores in X. Next, I will check if feasible. This is one more function, solution comma X. What do you think this feasible will do for me? It will check whether if I add X to the solution, do I get a feasible answer? So feasible is a function. It's a Boolean valued function which checks whether adding X to the partial solution will satisfy my constraints. Are you understanding? Will it satisfy my constraint? If it is so, yes. If it returns true, solution will be updated. What is the solution? Solution now becomes union of solution comma X. What is the solution comma X doing for me? It will add X to the solution. Simply, you will not put any item into your bag. First, you will check its price. Right? If I give you 100 rupees, get some item, you will not choose an item which is 150 rupees. You will first check the price, whether it is within 100. Then only you will put it inside your bag. Similarly, it checks whether adding X to the solution gives me the feasible. If so only, then add X to solution by calling another method called as union. Are you understanding? And union also has to do one more job. It should check the objective function, right? That also it will do. Okay. Once you select all the inputs, once the solution is being found, right, you will return the solution. Right? I have given here 1 to n. 1 to n, that's because I am working in n stages for n inputs. But then for some algorithm, this may not be always n. Depends. It depends what they have to do with it, right? So the control abstraction, as I told you, select is a function which is used to select an input from the set A 1 to n and removes it, and it assigns to x. Feasible is a Boolean valued function which verifies the constraints, isn't it? And determines whether x can be included into the solution or not. It will check based on the constraints, right? And if at all it is can be added, then union is a function which is used to add x to the partially constructed solution and also updates the objective function. What is that objective function? If you can see in our example, you select one item of 600 rupees. First you will check what, how much amount you have, 2000. Yes, 600 I can purchase. I can add 600 into my bag. Fine, the item of 600. Then you will put inside the bag. After putting the item inside your bag, you should update your amount. 2000 minus, what is the remaining amount for you for purchasing? After putting 600 rupees item inside your bag, what is left out with you for the next purchase of item? What is left out? Students, if I consider 2000 is my amount, first I will select 600 rupees amount item. For the next purchase, what is my remaining amount? What is in my hand? Students, will I again consider that I have 2000 in my hand after purchasing an item of 600?
No, ma'am.
I should now keep track of that money. I have already taken one item of 600. So I have how much in my hand? 1400. Isn't it? So I keep updating that amount within myself so that I can choose the items accordingly. So add it, update the objective function. Understanding? This is how it works. Now, going on to the problem, very quickly we'll deal with that. Coin change problem. Okay, very simple it is, where we have greedy approach, right? Say I give you coins of several denomination. Okay, say you are bank person or some shop person like that. You have coins of several denominations. You have to just find out a way to give a customer an amount with fewest number of coins. Fewest number of coins, right? This is a problem statement I give you. So you have coins, several coins of several denominations, right? So a customer comes to you, he will tell you, give me the change for some amount such that I have fewest number of coins. Okay, so let's see one small example. Suppose I have an amount n. Okay, so the denominations are given to me. Say C equals to C1 to CD, some denominations. Okay, so let me give you this example. For example, say the amount for which I want the change is coin change problem 4. The available denominations, I have several coins of denominations 1, 2, 3. So I have denomination 1, denomination 2, denomination 3. And I'll ask you to give change for 4 rupees, say for example. So what are the solutions? Can you just guess? Forget about greedy method and all. What are the different solutions can I get for 4 rupees? If I ask you to give change of these denominations, how many coins will you give me? Different possible solutions. Students, n is the amount to which I want the coins, and I have several coins of denominations 1, 2, and 3. Isn't it? So what is the first solution which comes to your picture?
1 and 3, ma'am.
No. All solutions. forget about that fewest number of coins. Give me some solutions.
4, 1 denominator.
Yes, one
coin.
possibility is you can give me 4 coins of denomination 1, or you can give me
2 coins of
2
denominator.
coins of denomination 2, or you can also give me 2 coins of 1 and
1 coin of
coins
2.
of 2. And another solution you can give me is 1 coin of 1, 1 coin of 3. Isn't it? Now, of all, that's I think only 4 solutions we have. Out of all the 4 solution, which is my feasible solutions? All the 3 are feasible, all the 4 are feasible. That is 4 coins, 1, 1, 1 each. 3 coins, that is I have 1 coin of 2 and 2 coins of 3, and 2 coins of 2, right? And then 2 coins wherein I have 1 comma 3. So you can just observe all the 4 are feasible ones. This is also feasible, this is also feasible, this is also feasible, this is also feasible for me. Yes, 4 coins, 3 coins, and also 2 coins. Out of this, which is the optimal one? Which do you think the optimal one is, students? Which has got fewest number of coins? Which is having me the fewest number of coins? Fewest number of coins is which one? Which possible solution is the fewest number of coins? Which is one giving me the fewest number of coins here? Which solution? First, second, or third?
Third, ma'am.
Third. You can see 2 coins is the least one. This is my optimal one. The optimal solution will be of 2 coins. That is 2 coins, right, of each denomination 2, or 2 coins, 1 of 3 and 1 of 1. I am understanding. See, all the 4 are feasibles, out of which the last 2 are the optimal one. The reason, because I wanted the fewest number of coins. Coin change problem, this is. Okay. So you have taken the coins in this way: 1, 5, 10, 20, 5, and n equals to 30. The amount is 30 cents, for which I want the coins, right? So the solutions, you can just take it down in this way. Solution number 1, 1. You can observe denomination, number of coins, amount, and total number of coins, right? A times 30 and then 3, right? Solution number 4 could be, your denomination is 25. I select 1 coin. Another denomination is 5. I select another coin. So you can see 30 and 2. You can all observe that all the 4 solutions are what to me? What solutions are there? They are what solutions, students? Quickly.
Feasible, ma'am.
Feasible. Out of which solution is your optimal? Which solution number is optimal?
Fourth one.
Yes, right? So 1, 2, 3, and actually 4. 4 is also there. They are all the feasible ones, wherein the solution number 4 will become the optimal solution for me. Remember, an optimal is always a feasible solution. Well, understanding. So this a part of the problem which I did, you can easily, looking at this, you can find out all the possibilities. So list out all the solutions, tell which are all the feasible and which is the or at least all are feasibles. You will write all the feasibles and you mention which is the optimal solution. Okay, so that's about the coin change problem. So this is the assignment which I have just given you all, just to identify the feasible as well as the optimal. Solution. Okay, this we can just work change. You can see 10 coins of one denomination, 2 coins of 5, right? Otherwise, there are several combinations which you can find here, right? And one of the optimal solution is having 1 coin of 10. That's sufficient, right? So similarly, you have the 2 problems. Just try to solve them and just try to identify. Okay, we will wind up here. Okay, any doubts you can ask me so that we can wind up the class. Okay, 1 or 2 questions I myself will post. The greedy method is basically used to solve which kind of problems? Which kind of problem?
Optimization problems,
What
ma'am.
is that optimization problem? What does it mean?
Ma'am will have n inputs and the solution is a subset of the inputs and will have some constraints.
Or conditions to be satisfied. Okay, generally in the greedy algorithms, what are the 2 kinds of problems? 2 kinds of solutions. 2 kinds of solutions.
Feasible and optimal.
Yes, feasible and the optimal. What is that feasible solution? Feasible is the one that satisfies the constraints. What is an optimal one? An optimal one is a one
It minimizes or maximizes the
some
feasible.
objective function. Okay, and optimal is always one of the feasible one, isn't it? And given any problem, how many optimal solutions you will have? Most of the one, possibly one. Sometimes maybe 1 or 2, but most of the time it will be one optimal solution. Okay, so frequently asked questions in your exam is control abstraction, the algorithm, that is you write the algorithm and explain. Okay, or sometimes they ask you define optimal solution and feasible solution. Okay, coin change problem is just for your understanding purpose. If you can understand, the rest becomes easier. Okay. Thank you, students. We'll see you in the next class. Thank you.